It's time for another daily rapid. I think I'll just hop in. Just hop in as people arrive. Welcome to Pure Chess Lover. First in the chat, Zindar V, J Page. Welcome everyone. We have the first game playing Wands 89. And okay, opponent's berserking, berserk back. And we have the Nimzowitsch opening. Against this, maybe we can transpose into a Scotch. Or not. Okay. Yeah, d5 will go into a Scandi. I think there's a few options here. I could play knight c3 or maybe like immediately d4. I'll play knight c3. Welcome to more people. Legs feed the wolf. Happy 8 months. Got GB Roxy with the bits. Yeah, not quite a Scotch. So mainly trying to focus on rapid development. At bishop h5, maybe I'll consider g4. We see queen h5, which is interesting. Of course I can't take because of this. I'm thinking bishop e2 to just break the pin. If I castle, play bishop e2. I have to treat this as a blitz game. I joined the rapid arena, but yeah, this is just a 5-minute game. Double berserking. Let's castle. Welcome back to Peter Balkus. How's it going? Can viewers join this? Yes. Yeah, I'm playing the daily rapid. As long as you have enough rapid games on Lichess, you should be able to join. Okay, there's this move. There's also this move. Let's kick the queen. Kind of a weird square for the bishop. If queen f5, I win the queen. If queen here or here, I move the pawn and attack. Queen f6, I can keep attacking the queen. I'll start with d3 and preserve this for later. Thank you, Riazkal, for 35 months. Okay, now the goal is to attack on this side. Opponent wants to trade. Okay, now I'll play knight e4. Oh, there was a question, what does berserking mean? Yeah, it's an option when you're playing an arena tournament. You essentially cut your time in half. But if you win, you get an extra point for the tournament standings. So it's a way to try and climb the ranks quicker. I did sack a pawn there. Thinking rook b3. Maybe create the battery. Welcome back to Triswiss.
Oh,
46
yes,
months.
Sub. Good to see you, Eric.
Good to see you too. Yeah, this is looking very good for white. Hitting the queen, hitting b7. The queen is pretty short on squares. Bishop f3 is coming. Yeah, I think there's too much firepower here. So if you're just joining, this is the first game of the stream of the tournament for me. I did late join. Okay, now I'm threatening mate in 1.
Shoot choi.
Okay, thank you, Meyer Gis. Happy 9. So I didn't really gain any rating. I lost a bit of rapid rating the previous stream, or one of the previous streams. Had a tough loss. So try and gain back some points today. I see the comment from Mogulbomb. Hi Eric, I was your opponent in the last game of the Classical Arena. I'm trying to remember that game. It was a London. Ah, that game. Yeah, the Super Sharp London. Oh, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the sub as well. Yeah, it's a very interesting fight. Speaking of London, okay, let's play London. Maybe I'll mix up the openings today. Like every game I'll try and play a different opening. Get a wide variety. So I'm playing this 95 line, which honestly is one of my favorite lines within the London. There's a lot of potential to attack in the middle game. There are some traps if Black's not careful. So far, this is a main line, though. Most common move is Queen C7. One of the traps, which not too many players fall for, is Knight D7. Yeah, this is, I think, playable. I'm not sure if taking was the right move immediately. Okay, now... Of course my bishop's attacked, but the first move to consider is this move. And I think it's, like, very good. Somewhat of a Greek gift. But I'm probably the one getting more gifts coming up. Knight G5, Queen takes H5. There was this move to attempt to defend, but it would walk into some nasty discoveries. And now this is pretty much unstoppable. Okay, so that was a quick London win. Yeah, Black has to be careful playing such a move. Like, sometimes this move is very good and justified. I think in this position, even in the previous position, the main line is 94 to enable some f6. And then life can go on from there. There's other moves too. I think h6 is also playable. Even c4, b5. But nice starts. 2 wins in relatively quick amount of time. Yeah, happy Monday. And 'tis the day before Title Tuesday. So I'll play at least one Title Tuesday tomorrow. Maybe both. If I can wake up early enough.
4 years. It's been
Oh,
a
hey.
long time since I caught a live stream.
Long time no see. Hare Krishna. Good to see you. 48 months. Hope you're doing well. Okay, we have my first black game of the stream. Playing one of my favorite black openings of recently, the Accelerated Dragon. Bishop e3 is actually an interesting move order. Because if I play bishop g7, there's c4. And I guess white could go into Marazzi bind. So this might actually be better than f6. And if white plays knight c3, we transpose into some mainline theory. Yeah, I've been doing well. I've been gradually getting back to streaming on a more consistent basis. It's been a busy summer. I was out of town for most of it. Okay, opponent's playing pretty quickly here. If e5, and probably knight d5. Now it's a question like what the ideal setup is for my pieces. And the rook generally likes to go to the open b file, but okay, a7 could be hanging. d6 probably makes sense to start with. A very flexible move. Kind of discouraging this, preparing this. Also enabling knight d7 maneuvers later. Okay, very happy to see that move. That gave me the bishop pair. And now this bishop especially is pretty much uncontested. Queen a5 was the first move that came to mind, but knight d5 would be annoying. I could take on b2 maybe, actually. Is it worth it? I think it wins a pawn. Takes on b2, rook b2, bishop takes c3. I win back the exchange. I'll be up a pawn. It's true that my dark squares are slightly weak, but yeah, white doesn't have a dark square bishop. And then these pawns would be weak. Yeah, it's probably worth going for. Hari Krishnan, gifting 10. Thanks so much. I appreciate the energy. Okay, opponent continues to play very quickly. I think I just want to develop. Tickle the a2 pawn. Yeah, already approaching the endgame. Still have plenty of time. Oh, thank you, Gambar, from earlier. Subbing for half a year. Oh yeah, how many OGs are here? I think a good portion of the people here probably are like a bit more new to chess. Maybe we can do a poll at some point. I'm not sure if I want to commit to this move. Bishop moves back.
Algorithm is all old Derek Rosen clips videos.
Ah, nice. Joy. Welcome back to Stockfish Sticks. I might just play this and prepare rook b8. Generally, when it's bishops of the same color, you don't want to put your pawns on the same color as the bishops. Now, it might be a different story if I can play this and then this. I might actually be winning another pawn here. Yeah, c4, bishop moves. c3, rook moves, and then I take the pawn. What constitutes as an OG? I don't know. It's loosely defined. Anyone who's an original gangsta. I would say probably anyone who's been following the channel pre-2020. Oh wow, yeah, I'm cool. Started watching from the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube videos many years ago. Yeah, that's definitely OG. It's actually one of the reasons why I started doing content on my own. Was because of the St. Louis start. I was thinking about playing bishop d4, take, lose a pawn, queen d4, fork. There is queen f2 in that line. But then I check. Or maybe I just take here defending. Oh, wait a minute. Bishop d4, queen takes. Queen b6, king f1. Okay, maybe I should just be normal and move back and keep all the pawns defended. I could throw in the check first. Is there any reason to? Check, queen f2. There is check and queen b2. Which is kind of interesting. Yeah, maybe that's the way to go, actually. The queen will defend the pawn and the bishop. And then the rook is kind of stuck. The queen is tied down to defending the rook. The pawn's in some danger there too. Yeah, I'm hitting the rook and the pawn. White is attacking a7. So we might end up trading. I mean, if I can win this pawn, my c-pawn will be deadly, hopefully. Oh, you love the pigs on the 7th. Yeah, that was an older endgame lecture. Not sure what we call these things. Maybe wannabe pigs. Okay, so if I take and then take, And then queen d2. Should be good enough. Yeah, hitting the rook and making way for the pawn. Can white stop promotion? I was doing a crossword earlier today. It was a Sunday crossword from yesterday, I think from Washington Post. And one of the crossword clues was, oh, what was the exact clue? It was a chess piece that has a clear path to promotion. And the answer, sorry to spoil it, is pass pawn. Although white is trying to set up a blockade. That bishop b1, which is kind of funny. Just hugging the rook. And now rook c3. And the pawn's very well defended. Bishop's attacked. At some point there should be a tactic. Maybe this move. I could also check and win this pawn. Oh yeah, thanks for the hype train. Level 5. I see the comment, riding with Dave. Started watching, oh, the speedrun series. Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping to resume the series very soon. Got a little bit behind recently. Thank you to Mulfer. Happy 26. Which opening to learn at 1100 ELO as your first opening? There's no real right answer to that. At least according to some people. Other people will say E4 best by test. And when you start learning openings, you should at least focus on 3 major categories. Can I sack my queen? I think I can. You should focus on an opening for white, usually E4, D4, and then how to reply as black against E4 and against D4. Because those are the situations you'll be in most often. I think that was a pretty smooth game. It started as an accelerated dragon. White didn't really play much theory. I think made this positional mistake with trading off the bishop. And then there was this nice tactic to win the pawn. And sometimes all it takes is one pawn to win the ending. Or eventually 2 pawns. And 1 powerful pass pawn. So I have yet to gain any rating this stream. Maybe I can gain at least a point with the next game. What's your favorite opening to play? These days I like to mix things up. I mean, London opening is probably the one I know most about. And it's good across all time controls. As black, I very much enjoy Queen's Gambit Declined. Also, yeah, some Sicilians. Accelerated Dragon and Taimanov are my favorite Sicilians. Why no Berserk? I late joined the tournament. I'm not really trying to win the tournament. I mean, the leader has 42 points. I have 9 points. And I like to preserve time so I can more explain my moves. We'll play e4 here. And we have a Caro-Kann. I'll play a 2 knights attack. So staying true to a different opening every game. Queen e2 is a tricky move. I just want to take the knight and have the pin on the e-file. E6 does support the knight, but it also blocks in this bishop, which sometimes can be an issue for black. That's kind of weird because my bishop's blocked in as well. I'm not sure if I want to take. I probably do. So I don't want to give black time to play knight d7 and reinforce the knight. And now d4. I'll probably end up moving the queen. I could start with bishop g5 actually. And take on e7. Force black to bomb cloud. You've been addicted to the Suica game. I have not heard of it. I've heard of 2048. Last time I played that game was on an airplane. I forget my high score. I think I got to like the 8,000 number. I went through a phase like years ago, maybe 10 years ago, playing that game. Okay, castling I think makes sense. Get the rook towards the center. And ideally I want to open the center before the king can find safety. There's still this thing to deal with. Queen blocks a bishop. I don't want to trade queens. Probably just queen e3. He's slightly better square, preparing bishop d3. Suica is 2048 with fruit. Sounds slightly healthier. You're just about to watch the rest of my Norway recap when you realized I was live. Aha. Yeah, I know it's a long video. It's probably the type of video to watch in multiple sittings. So this position looks nice. I have my minor pieces developed. Black's minor pieces are undeveloped. We're probably going to see queen a5. And then I'll probably take the time to play king b1. Predictions for the Hans vs. Nihal-Saren match. Do they have a match coming up? I don't know any information about it. Is it like another one of these multi-format, like classical rapid blitz matches? That should be interesting. Like Nihal is quite strong in especially the quicker time controls. Thank you to Roadrunners.
Good luck, Eric.
Thank you, the one expected. Okay. It's time to figure out a plan. Like g6 gives me some infiltration square. I think maybe black is trying to restrict my bishop. I'm kind of drawn to this move, 95. Yeah, let's play 95. This is more like an intuitive move rather than a move to calculate. So f7 could be a weakness. I'm tying down the knight to defending c6. And in cases with f6, I have knight c4 with tempo on the queen. I'm also wondering about this. Calculate. Because takes, and then takes. And then king d6, and then takes, and then takes, and then check. And then back, and then check. That's way too good to pass up. So queen h6 takes. Yeah, and if king e8, I take. If king f8, I eventually force the king to e8, and again I take. This looks good. And this pawn is pretty much impossible to defend effectively. If rook h8, I just check and win the rook. So I'm basically taking advantage of the fact that these pieces are not really doing anything to defend the king side or the center. And we might see a funny checkmate incoming. It's nice the queen controls all the squares on the 7th rank. File opens. If king c5, I have queen e7 check. Oh, August 29th. Interesting. Oh, Lau is in the tournament and hopes to play me. Got some time left. Got about 84 minutes left. For some reason, I didn't see this move coming. I think it's okay, though. Like, I have... Actually, what do I want to play? Maybe just bishop takes g6 and then win the rook. I'm not seeing forced mate. If I played this and then queen e7, there is a rook d6. Should be a lot of winning lines. But this looks to be the cleanest. Very important I have a rook here, defending the back rank. Was Trondheim alright? Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. I want to call it a town, but it's Norway's, I think, 3rd or 4th largest city. Yeah, very nice place to play chess. Long days, good weather for the most part. The tournament itself was like long and tiring, so it still feels like I'm recovering. What are those pieces doing on the back rank? They're ready for the next game. Queen e7. Okay, now it's very close to force mate. The rook cuts off the king. King b5, bishop d3. King a5, queen a3 checkmate. Yeah, it's mate next move, actually. I think. Okay. Hey, welcome back to ZP.
I had back surgery last week and it was so nice watching your recap while recovering. I'm doing really well and will be studying chess until
good to hear.
I go back to my outdoor activities. Thanks for all the content.
Thank you. Happy 37 months. I hope it was a smooth and speedy recovery. So we have 4 games so far this stream. 37th place, honoring the 37th month sub. I don't think I have any chance to win the tournament, but maybe there's chances to finish like top 5. Not too far off. Might be hard without berserking though. Should I berserk? Only if the opponent berserks. Okay, we have a Von Kruijs opening. Krujis. Oh, we're going to see a cow. All right, let's take over the center. And can I just disturb my opponent? I'm going to play h5 and confuse them. Knight g3, h4. Let's see. They might do the cow on this side. Could even play h4 here. And now it's hard for white to do anything on the king side. Okay, now this... Oh, this resembles more of a hippo now. Which I don't mind. Could maybe even play bishop g4. Yeah, I am trying to play like very actively. And in playing actively, I'm actually playing very restrictively. I could maybe play queen g5. This move might be coming. Or this move. Yeah, let's just complete development. I don't want to overthink things too much. Queen b1 to unpin the knight. Interesting. I'll play queen g5 first, just so when I develop the knight, the queen's not blocked in. Anna Cramling burner account. I don't think so. It's not a true cow. Maybe it was an attempted cow and then white realized it can't be a cow, so they tried to make it a hippo. Some hybrid creature. Oh, thank you 52 fresh from earlier. The first time prime. White's ready to castle queenside. Okay, I'm going to play a5. If castling queenside, maybe I'll be in shape to attack. And this is maybe an idea at some point. Not right away. Question is, where does this knight want to be long term? Maybe this maneuver? Yeah, I think it's better off on e7. Keeping f6 open. White unpins a knight. But white's pretty stuck. G4? This G4 might be coming. Yeah, debating how to handle this. F6. I'm going to play f6, which enables bishop f7. So I like the prospect of X-ray vision against the white queen. What sound does a hippo make? Might depend on the position or the size of the hippo. I can't recall like hearing a hippo make any sounds. I've seen hippos before, like at the zoo. Maybe thwomp. And this is kind of a sad hippo. Hey, it's Gary. Thanks, Gary. Gifting 5. Hope you're doing well. Knight f3 is actually a decent move. If I move the queen, I lose a pawn. Or if I move the queen here, I still lose a pawn. Wink, wink. Oh no, my pawn. Yeah, usually in positions when you have more space, you don't want to be trading minor pieces if it's not necessary. In this case, white's really cramped with the minor pieces. And I was setting up the trap if takes, and I'd take and win a knight. Now, probably still go for this. And then I have ideas of d4, a4. In these sort of positions can take patience, though. White's being patient, maybe preparing this.
Not too often I get to catch one of your streams, but it's always
Oh, hey. Hi, Jinx.
Best of luck with the arena. Less than 3.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm going to maneuver the knight. There's a few reasons why I like the knight here. For one, it defends a rook, so it might actually enable ideas of knight b4 takes, where the queen could be trapped on the a file. The knight also could maybe support some distant ideas with these squares. Knight g1's a funny move. Maybe preparing bishop e2. It feels like I'm playing a contortionist hippo. Like a large creature trying to fit in a very small space. Okay, aligning with the king. Yeah, there's a few examples of X-ray vision here. I mean, I want to play this, But white has queen a1. I don't think I achieved that much. That's slightly frustrating. If I play a4, b4, d4, queen a1. Also not sure if I'm achieving that much. Hey, it's Anna Crowling. Hi, Anna Crowling. That may have been Hammer taking over her account for commentary. If you're just joining, this opening started as an attempted cow. And I'm trying to destroy the cow. Okay, let's play knight b4. We'll see if white falls for my trap. Oh no, my knight. Shout out to Anna. I hope you won today. How's Anna doing in the tournament?
Holy cow, what a raid.
Oh no. Well, she lost. Well, hopefully there were lessons to take away. I think maybe I'll go for c5. It should be fine to leave my knight here. Like, again, if takes, the queen gets stuck on a1. Yeah, good to see everyone. If you're just joining, I'm playing a couple hours of rapid chess. It's a daily rapid arena. This is probably the most interesting game I've had so far. There have been no trades, no captures this game. We have all of our starting pieces. So maybe I can try and win the game with no captures. That might be tough though. But still on track. There's a famous game. It was the game that made Hans Niemann a GM. He beat a grandmaster in less than 20 moves where there were no captures. The grandmaster resigned before anything was traded or came off the board. So I think I'll just keep making gradual improvements. Maybe at some point I'll castle, double up. Uh-oh. I think we're going to see some trade. Unless I play this, but then takes. Yeah, I think I have to trade here. I mean, this opens a diagonal for the queen. I have this move. Threatening mate in 2. Let's play this move. How does white defend? If takes or takes, I take, takes, and then checkmate. Bishop d3 doesn't help because takes. I think white has to play this move. Then can I get my knight to d2? I can't even draw the arrow for it. Even when I try to draw the arrow. Okay, knight e1. Have to expect my opponent will find that. I mean, maybe I just put the rook on the c-file. Oh, but then I have to watch out for pawn takes knight. Use the camel. I forgot about the camel. If this were a camel, then I would be confused. Okay, this is the first capture of the game. I think I have to capture back. So it's very important my knight defends the rook in the corner. And this is basically trapping the queen. I mean, white can save the queen with this, and then take, and then queen b2. And then probably c4, c3. What kind of computer do you have? Question from John Bonpony. I'm using a Mac Mini. This is my desktop setup. When I travel, I use a laptop. Usually my MacBook. By the end of this game, will Eric be a GM? If only that's how getting the GM title would work. I don't think I'll get any norms for this game. Okay, the game goes on. So white did get some material for the piece. Or for the queen, I should say. I'm wondering about this move. Probably just better to take. I take again. Thinking knight c7 first. I want to castle and then move the knight. Maybe castling is slightly better. Keep the option open of what square to put the knight on. Thank you, Sians Jordan. Happy 26. Oh, Cleomania said, this looks like it was a Fischer random game. Yeah, based on how my opponent kind of put their pieces on the back rank, and now with my knight on a8, does feel a little bit random. I'm not sure if e4 really helped white that much. Now there's a bit of pressure on the f file. I think one plan is to bring the knight to c7, probably play d4, knight d5, knight c3. But also just bring the rook to a8. If we trade bishops, then I can access the square. Eric no longer plays on chess.com. Not for this stream. I'll return tomorrow for Title Tuesday. I'm an independent streamer, so I don't have any exclusivity to any one website, which is nice. I can play and stream on both sites. Good night to Hari Krishnan. Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, different time zone. Enjoy your sleep. Thanks for the support as well. Okay, let's swing the rook over. Yeah, the mating attack is brewing. Oh, my queen, wow. Oh, that's super tricky. I'm in trouble now. Wow. Oh, I have to be careful. I can probably win on time. Oh no, my pawn. Ah. Opponent doesn't take the pawn. I was threatening mate in 2, so I think I just probably just take the rook. I'm not better though. Man, what a fight from white. I thought I was gonna win easily. Maybe I can confuse him. You start with this move? Start with this move. The rook can't move anywhere. It's still tied down to defending c3. Now I have this move. It's interesting. Take, take. Probably better to take the rook and then play this. Look to take on g2. Material's actually equal. But I have the more active rook, the more centralized king. Now some space on the queen side. B3. Okay, let's prepare B3 with this move. Okay. Do I want en passant? Probably. Still a tricky endgame. There. I mean, it should be winning now. Wait, is it winning? Wait a minute. Okay, now it's winning. It should be. There. I think rook f5 is probably the best way. Wait, did I mess this up? Okay. I think I messed that up at some point. What a game. I mean, I was doing well the whole time, and then opponent found a nice resource. Super tricky move. I probably had to move the rook elsewhere. I was losing for a brief period. And then in the endgame too, I messed it up. Rook f5 was just a very bad move. The idea was to walk my king around, but it loses crucial time. White can play h6. And then, yeah, h7 here is a draw, apparently. And then going back, endgame was still fine. Apparently b3 was wrong. Okay, not a super clean game.
Hi Eric, great to see you streaming again. How was your trip? Especially
Trip was
how
nice.
did you like Berlin?
Yeah, Berlin was nice. It was a nice kind of in-between point between Switzerland and Norway. Didn't get too much time to sightsee, but had some good food. Yeah, I don't think there's any suspicions of like fair play violation or anything. I mean, it just happens sometimes. Like I make a mistake. White was trying to hold on, but and almost did. We can see by the accuracy too. Just a messy game by both of us. So let's move on. I think out of the 5 games so far, I've gained 1 rating point. So we have still 58 minutes left. Time for a good handful of more games. Thank you, Ha Milch. First time Prime. Okay, let me fix the board. Okay. Playing higher player who I've played before. Okay, I had a nice win before. And we have a queen's pawn opening, so yet another different opening. Every single game has been different openings so far.
Oh no, my streak.
Happy 7 months. Opa Lord time. Okay, playing one of my favorite lines in the QGD. Barman variation. Maybe we'll transpose into Cambridge Springs. And we'll do. So, I haven't had this in like any classical over the board tournaments at all, really. I've been wanting to play it in like over the board classical chess. Knight d2 is one of the more common moves.
Hello,
especially for stronger players.
What is your favorite animal?
Favorite animal? Oh, probably a dog. Dogs are pretty chill. Bishop takes f6. Okay. We're going into something. Maybe something seemingly solid. C5 is a very typical break in this position. It's a question, can I play it right away? Because there's takes and then bishop e5 check. So I might be just better off castling first and saving c5 for later. Wait, did Agadmater mention me in a video? Trap to win the opponent's queen. Oh, maybe the England Gambit trap. I saw some thumbnail of like some England versus London. There's a question, could the opponent play c5 instead of queen c2? I can share that, or share what to do against that after the game. Maybe even during the game. Generally, if c5 is played, it's met with b6, and I just get rid of the pawn. In this case, I could probably take and win a pawn on c3 first. There are cases where sometimes c5 is a bit more troublesome. Knight b3. Yeah, that's a move. Queen's attacked. I don't think I want to take. Probably queen c7. So I temporarily have the bishop pair. This bishop might not last too much longer. I give a3, then probably have to take. There's a lot of pressure in the center. That makes sense. Yeah, we could see liquidation, like takes and takes and takes and takes and takes. I'll have some initiative. And eventually the plan is to develop the light squared bishop. Most likely via b6, bishop b7, like once I win the pawn. Have the nice fianchetto. Why is your emoji an ambulance? Because sometimes an ambulance needs to be called. But usually not for me. Sometimes for me, though. No ambulance is needed in this position. Both sides are very solid. Although I might be threatening to win the pawn. Discovered attack on the bishop. Like if castling, I think this works. If white tries to desperado the bishop, I take on f2 with check and win the pawn. So maybe we'll see this or this. If bishop d3 and then... Okay, never mind. So it's pretty symmetrical. Like it's identical pawn structure. There's some differences with the the bishops. I mean, my bishop's undeveloped, but I am castled. Thank you, BVT Luke. Happy 5. I'm looking for ways to prevent white from castling, but not seeing anything super effective. So, yeah, let's just go for the completion of development, keeping the pawn structure identical. And I would like to think that my bishop is going to be more powerful than white's bishop. This diagonal is really, really nice. G2 could be a target. Queen can swing over, the knight can come in. My rooks come in pretty easily. I guess white's rooks can come in easily too. Oh, ATC Fost mentioning maybe something I overlooked in the other line. Knight b5. Yeah, you're probably right that bishop e3 would not have worked. Wow, knight e4. So white's not castling. I do have a check. If this, then there's takes and castle. Mainly debating here between queen a5 and queen b4. I think they're similar, but a little bit different. Queen a5 is probably a bit preferred. Keeping potential to swing over. Queen c3. Honestly, kind of forgot about that. Yeah, now we have to trade. Maybe I didn't have a choice, though. Take, bishop e7, castle. It's kind of dry. Wait a minute. No, I have this move. My queen's defended. That's why I didn't consider queen c3. Queen's a piece. I think at the moment I was trusting white. Yeah, just free. Okay. Almost missed it too. It was almost a double blind spot. I was looking at chat when I was judging what to do. So thankfully, yeah, I found it myself. If somehow I saw a comment in chat saying the move, then I would not have played it. Yeah, knight e4 is probably just a mistake. It was pleasant for black, though. Like bishop e7, castle. Pieces come in pretty naturally. So, yeah, that was really just one blunder this game. I can go back and maybe explain the moment more depth. And this is a main line. Usually people play queen c2 here. Rook c1 is also fine. In general, like c5 is almost never good for white. In this case, there's knight e4, b6 coming, and then here, yeah, it would just win the pawn. So, let's keep going. Moving up in the standings. Top 10 is definitely within reach. The ambulance was needed after all. Did not have time to ask anyone to call one. I wonder if I played enough rapid games to appear on the leaderboard. I don't think I have, though. Okay. Playing VHRF. Let's play knight f3. Another opening that has not occurred yet this stream. I've gone through some phases of playing this recently. I like to play this e3 trendy line. The idea is to avoid some early bishop g4. With this, and we could get some like reverse Nimzo or Queen's Indian. I'm a bit curious here. I think I'll start with this. Basically a Queen's Indian up a tempo. And now this.
Let's go, Eric. Rosen, let's go, Rosen, let's go.
Let's go. I can't recall ever facing this setup when I played this opening. Like usually people leave the pawn back on c7. f6. Okay, so this is a very direct approach. And yeah, it's basically a Nimzo, but up a tempo. Interesting. I'm thinking... Oh, d4 loses a piece to queen a5 check. Gotta be a little bit careful there. Maybe I just castle? Just castle. If e5... What to do? There is a move knight h4, which looks weird, but it might be playable. I'm also wondering, can I take queen h5? King d7 probably doesn't work. Yeah, knight h4 definitely has some merit to it. Because it threatens queen h5, enables f4. Knight e7. Let's go for it. Violating some principles, moving the same piece twice. Moving away from the center, putting the knight on the edge. But black is a bit underdeveloped. It only has one piece developed, which is pinned. Does have the pawn center. Very soon I'll choose which break to play. Like all these moves might be playable, even e4. Like there might be knight c3, e4. Yeah, black is trying to reinforce the center. I'll go for this. Honestly, this is one reason why I sometimes like playing knight f3 on move 1, is you can just get very fresh positions and avoid any sort of like deep theory. Very quickly explore lesser explored territory. There's a question about d4 first, which I didn't really want to commit to. Maybe it's, yeah, probably possible, but can always analyze later. Now black's playing solidly. If I play this, bishop f7, if I take first, takes and then check, is still bishop f, no, bishop f7, I sack the rook? Ooh, it's tempting. There's also this, which I think makes some sense. F5 also to consider. Okay, I'm going to take. Takes queen h5, bishop f7. I take. I sack the exchange for a pawn, but I have initiative. If queen blocks, can I take? Take, 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 take. The problem is in the end I can't take the rook because queen e1 checkmate. Okay, none of that's relevant because black takes with the queen on e5. So now probably just knight c3. Bishop d6 is coming though. Knight c3, bishop d6. Knight f3, queen h5. So d4? I'll go for d4 here. I don't want to give black time to create initiative. I mean, knight c3 was probably also playable. Very interesting game so far. Queen c7 makes sense. Yeah, not easy to crack the position. Queen h5, bishop f7. Knight c3, queenside castling might be coming. Do I have this move? Bishop f4. Here, take d5, castle, c4. Knight d4, man, crazy line. There's also c4. Having a very hard time assessing what's happening. Take d5 castle. c4 knight d4. Probably not good for me. I have to play something though. Just don't see what to do. I think c4. And this could just get very, very messy. Yeah, I really wanted to play e4. I just didn't see a clear line after takes. I mean, here the plan is to keep applying pressure to the center. Yeah, can I take? Might have to play knight f3. Start by taking. It seems risky for black. It's also risky for me, though. Oh, check, bishop f7. I have this move. What about e4? Okay, I'm just sacking pawns, trying to open the center. Yeah, it's getting super, super sharp. And the thought is, if takes, I might just have queen e2. Like f5 I take. Bishop moves back, I probably have d5. Yeah, crazy position. I think queen e2. I really don't see how black defends a bishop without losing something. Because queen e7 I can take. f5 I take. And there's really no other way to save the bishop. It's only move 14. Feels like it's been a much, much longer game. But sometimes this happens in like super sharp openings. Okay, so I'll win the bishop. Maybe I should have considered like another move, but okay, rook e1 is probably coming soon, or even just takes. It's also this move. Black is having ideas of this. Not super simple. And f5. Maybe just knight d2. Trying to keep all the tension. And this is only one check. That does hit the knight. Oh, knight f6 is coming. Wait, but I have takes. Yeah, this should be good. Multiple attackers. Plenty of time. Okay, now I can take the knight or just take the bishop. Taking the knight actually seems a bit cleaner. I'll have 3 minor pieces for rook and 2 pawns. Could take with queen or knight. Just take with queen. I'll simplify a bit. Yeah, I'm down 2 minutes, but I think the complicated part of the game has passed. Forcing the queen trade can simplify further. I might still have a mating attack too. Bishop c4 I'll start with. Yeah, it feels pretty close to mate. King is cornered. Bishops are already dominating black's position. If I get in this and this, it's checkmate. So black might look to put the rook on d7. But then f7 is not defended, or f6 is not defended. Yeah, probably take first. Prevent rook d7. There's a funny line, knight e5, knight f5, knight takes bishop. I don't take back, I check. Oh, actually I just checkmate. I was calculating this and then checkmate. But I'd already be controlling g8. So the minor piece is doing work. Is Eric having a theme for the arena? Also, my opponent left the game. Oh, but they're back. I mean, the theme is basically I'm playing a different opening every game, so I'm trying not to repeat the same opening across all my games. I think this is definitely the sharpest opening I've had thus far. Sharpest game overall. Stemming from the ready, which usually has a more solid reputation. Okay, bishop g7 incoming. Okay. I gained another point. Let's analyze a little bit. So, yeah, this is fine for black. It's actually been played at like high level. Oh, bishop a3 is a move. Engine says this is playable, maybe not the best approach. And actually, like, okay, I managed to find some good moves. Like c4 was the correct approach. I took a long time here trying to make e4 work. I wanted to enable this, but the problem is here castling, and there's a pin, and I didn't see any good follow-up. And then what happened in the game? Oh, queen g4 was even stronger. A queen e2 felt natural. Okay. Oh, there's a question from Josh. Why not knight f5? Oh, good point. Yeah, knight f5 would have been better. I saw my knight was attacked, so I wanted to defend it and also threaten mate. But I can still play this and say, oh no, my knight, and then checkmate. And then that basically forks the rook and mate. Engine says, yeah, knight f5 is made in 6. What I played was only made in 7. Okay, moving on. Got time for probably at least a couple more games. Playing Petrov. And, okay, what to play? I already played the Sicilian. I'll play e5. Do I dare go for a Stafford in rapid chess? Let's try. Let's see. Okay, opponent's not cooperating. Do I really insist? I insist. It's risky going for this when the opponent has a lot of time and I can't rely as much on like dirty flagging, but I just want to play something aggressive. We might go into an Italian, which will also hopefully be instructive, but we are getting a transposition. So we have a Stafford Gambit with knight c3. And we'll see what my opponent wants to do here. I mean, if they played knight c3 on move 3, they're probably not like super prepared. Like I assume they don't have too much experience in these Stafford positions. And yeah, d3, this is probably the most common trap in the Stafford Gambit. When white plays a combination of d3 and knight c3, it just leaves f2 vulnerable. And this is already like quite good for black. Thank you, D Lobster. Happy 34. So only try for white is bishop e3, but I'll win back the pawn. I probably had this position at least 50 to 100 times online. I can check my stats afterwards. But materials equal, bishop d4 is the best move. I used to play queen g5, but it's not as good because there's h4, g4 ideas. Bishop d4 really keeps all the pressure, ensures that white cannot castle kingside anytime soon. And from here, I think h5 is the way to go. Like setting up some ideas of this. Thank you, Brunswicker. Happy 23. Oh, there's a request for Caro-Kann defense. Which, yeah, if I'm black again and encounter e4, then I can look to play. Just making sure I'm not getting mated. I see some people in chat avoid the Stafford Gambit by not playing e4 on move 1. Oh,
Hey
thank you,
Eric,
Meekat.
your content has been a safe place for me whenever I go through times. I'm going through one right now and wanted to thank you again for years of great content and comfort. Less than 3.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I hope there's some positive impact I can give with such content. I do appreciate the words. So this is looking quite good. Might not be like completely winning. I want to play this, but then there's this. So I'm considering queen a5, which hits a knight, and knight's tied down to a2. And this is a very common maneuver we see in these, especially the specific Stafford trap. And white's just not in shape to defend the knight effectively. Can you play the Nimzo-Larsen? That's b3 on move 1, right? Yeah, maybe next game if I'm white.
Less than 3.
Thank you, Liquid Acid. Happy to. I do appreciate all the good vibes and support. Yeah, this bishop is kind of sad. If this was a dark for a bishop, it would be slightly happier. White bishop seems like he has an awkward family reunion. That's when all the family gets in the way. Not the best way to socialize. I'm pretty sure if I had this position against like Magnus Carlsen, Magnus would still find a way to beat me. Like white's not completely toast. Like I'm gonna take, like if it's my move, I take, win the pawn. The king can still find some escape. We might see this move. Attacking 2 pawns, both of which are defended. Have you tried to get a Stafford with white by using 1a3? I don't think I have. I would be curious though, like how many games on Lichess have featured reverse Stafford with a3. I've played e3 as white. E3, and if black plays e5, I play e4. And then that's how I can try and get reverse Stafford. I've definitely had a handful of games with that. The next level opening strategy is to play e3 and then pre-move e4. And then you either go for reverse Stafford, reverse England, or reverse Walrus. Or reverse English. But it's probably a little bit questionable. We do see queen g3, so yeah, these pawns are not in danger. I'm actually thinking that I don't need to take the knight right away. I could just castle. Leave the knight on c3. Don't think white is really doing that much. It's like takes here. If I go into that line, then both pawns are actually attacked. So let's just castle. Get the king safe. I overdefend c7. And white is still in the same predicament. This bishop does have legal moves now, but they're not the most exciting legal moves. I wish I could stay to play with you, but I have the challenge to retire when I lose 3 games. Oh, does that mean you've retired? Yeah, maybe next time. Rook f5, wow. So I guess I'm not winning a2, but I can win the exchange. And then I can actually win the pawn on c3. But there might be something stronger, actually. Is this stronger? Queen b4? White has a3. Queen b6. Nah, I'll just take. And now the rook is ready to lift. Request for Budapest Gambit. Yeah, some openings require cooperation from the opponent. So depending what color I play and what my opponent plays, hopefully I can satisfy at least one opening request. Yeah, I'm just gonna trade queens. Keep it simple, control the file, pin the bishop. Looking to double up. It's very hard to alleviate the pin because the rook's tied down to defending the bishop. The bishop's, of course, tied down, pinned to the rook. King here helps try to defend, but then I create the battery. Yeah, I had a feeling my opponent might try this. So white's threatening this to win the rook, but in doing so, I can take and defend the rook. Okay, white's hoping for this, so bishop g4 is possible, but I can take the pawn. And now the king is cut off. Okay. So, nice Stafford Gambit victory. I mean, this is like I think this is an even more dubious move order. We were transposed into like the main trap, but if white wants to, white can also play this move. And then d4 is coming next. I would play d5, try and spice things up, but white's clearly better here. Thank you, Steph. Happy 8 months. The best move in this position is h3, which is second most played on lichess. Most played is actually bishop c4, which looks very normal, but this is also a big mistake because knight g4. If casting queen h4 and black is already completely crushing. Welcome back to Enyatap. Happy 55. So, oh, h5 was not the best. Casting kingside, interesting. Oh, I did want to check how many times I've had this position. "90 times. So approaching 100. Even strong players walk into this trap. Okay, moving on. Playing a shot. Someone wanted Nimzo-Larsen, so I'll play b3. Not a move I've played in a while. Bishop b2. Debating what line to go for. I'll play e3, expecting knight f6. d5, interesting. So I think bishop... I actually don't remember much theory here. I'm pretty sure bishop b5 is probably called for. Thank you, Cuthford, for the bits. I think there's some theory after bishop d6, f4, takes, queen h4. Honestly, I'm probably going to avoid that. But then the question becomes how to avoid it. F4 is definitely the most natural move. I guess I could play d4, get some French type thing. It doesn't look so bad. I could play this too. Yeah, let's start with this. I don't think this is possible because I take and take. I basically want to make it so if I get in d4 and black plays e4, I have knight e5, or even just knight d2, eventually c4. Yeah, black goes for bishop g4. So this is another approach. Now it looks pretty solid for both sides. I'm considering this move, pawn g4. Let's go for maybe threatening to win a center pawn. I imagine at some point I'll end up trading on c6, give back the bishop pair, complete development. Okay, queen d7. Now it's a big question. Like, can I go for g5? There is this move knight e5 or knight e4. And then like this line d3, knight g5, queen d5 doesn't work because bishop b4 check. I would lose a queen. But I'm thinking after knight e4, I just play h4. And then d3 is coming next. Let's do it. I mean, this is usually one of the strategies of the of the Nimzo-Larsen is you develop the pieces like this, you give black this pawn center, and then you try and turn the pawn center into a liability for the opponent rather than a strength. I'm mainly trying to target d5 with this move. I guess black could also play this, but then the diagonal becomes quite nice for the bishop. Like e4, probably just queen e2. Yeah, so defending g5. a6 might be slightly annoying because takes, queen takes, c2 is hit. So I'm actually considering bishop f1. Reroute the bishop and then prepare d3. Let's do it. I might be asking for trouble on developing when things are still undeveloped. But this comes with tempo. Castling queenside would blunder a queen. f5, there's en passant. f5 here, interesting. So if I take, the knight takes, and I'm not winning this pawn. Still a possible line, like maybe bishop h3. I mean, I should look at d3 because this doesn't work. I have c3, and the only safe square is c5, which loses d5. Is there some crazy tactic? Like, I don't think there's any tactic. Like, this would be an attempt, takes and then check to win the queen, but I would just take with the queen. So let's do this. Oh, there might be a tactic. Yeah, I maybe played too quickly there. If I take, there's knight a4. Wow. Does that work? Do I have this move? It's a weird line. Takes, knight a4, threatening bishop b4. And then I play bishop c3, ensuring bishop b4 isn't check. And then takes, and then takes. Oh, then knight b4. It's not good. So I probably can't take the pawn as much as I want to. Oh, what to do? Bishop h3, there's g6. Maybe just knight d2. Maybe I throw in this move and then knight d2. You have to be careful. I'm still trying to calculate g6. I take knight a4. Is there any way to lose a bishop and then... Wow. Rook f8. One more time. Takes here. Knight d2 maybe? Knight d2. The problem is also just knight b4. Yeah, let's not go for that. Rook f8 makes a lot of sense. So do I have knight d2 e4? I think I just played knight d2. Gotta move a bit quicker. This could be troublesome. I might actually be losing a pawn here. Like, I want to play this, but then there's knight d3. Or is there? It probably is. I thought maybe I could trap the knight, but there's queen b5. Then a4? Okay, let's calculate. Queen d1 takes, king e2. No, queen b5, a4, there's knight here. Black has at least a draw. I might have to play king d1. Thank you, Unfenny. I'm in trouble this game. Opponent's been playing well. I've been doing questionable things too. I have to play this and accept the fact I'm not castling. And the good thing is I defend c2 and I avoid the forks. But looks super shaky. e4, I probably have to take that. Now the file's opening. Oh man. And there's this pin, but I imagine this is like the obvious move, but maybe not. There's some glimmer of hope. Strange decision. I think now a3. I'm down a couple minutes. This game probably won't count for the tournament. That still counts for rating and pride and glory. My plan might be king c1, rook d1. But okay, black is ready for 95. Yeah, it's... Still really don't like this. a3 may have helped black too. I have to play this. 95. Bishop e5 also. Okay, 95 I just play queen e2. If bishop e5, probably also queen e2. Just to over-defend the knight, enable f3. Which is not even a threat because knight g3. Okay, let's get the rook to a better place. I could still take, actually. Take. Let's start with this. Keeping tension. I mean, there's a few x-rays in this position. Diagonal and the d-file. Yeah, this game officially not counting for the tournament. Unless it ends within like 10 seconds. I'm trying to judge if it makes any sense to play f4. Probably not. Although f3 might be more playable now. Knight g3 doesn't win anything. There might even be ideas of e4 in the near future. There are some options with the knight, mainly takes, knight c5 or knight g3. If takes, I take with a rook. Now probably king b1. I just want to connect the rooks. I'll look to play rook d1 next. I mean, black's making good improvements, though. Position's like very, very solid for black. But it's also looking a bit more solid for me, too. My knight needs to find a better place. d4 would be ideal, but kind of hard to get there. b1 maybe. That was bishop e5 coming. Do I have e4 now? e4, queen f7. Okay, this is very committal, but I go for it. I'm gonna go for it. Super committal. I do allow this. I mean, the hope is that the center opens up, my knight comes in. It's essentially a pawn sacrifice. Probably the wrong decision, though. Bishop f6 as well. Oh, wait a minute. I can't even take it. Oh, that was a really bad decision. I have to play this. Now the e4 square. I'm in big, big trouble here. Time trouble too. Just have to try and hold on for dear life. Yeah, good move. Rook e8, I have bishop c1. You're trying to hold on by a thread. There's also... Let's start with this. Calculating this move. Queen c4 maybe. I'm pinned, I'm down a pawn, structure's ruined. I do have the bishop pair. I don't see an immediate win for black. Oh, good move. Take. Do I take 93? I think I have to go for this. The bishop can maybe come in from behind. Well played. Not good. What to do? Trying to set up some stalemate traps there. Didn't quite work. Opponent played well. Felt like I had some chances towards the end. But, yeah, like around here, maybe what I could have done was take first. And then sack. Basically sack a piece. No. I was just losing. Yeah, black was able to essentially keep everything under control. F4 is just probably the losing move. It felt like I consolidated after a really bad opening. There was a moment here. Apparently this is a one moment I could have been like actually doing decently. F4 seems anti-positional. I guess the point is I can take and G7's loose. Yeah, there were mistakes from black too. I'm actually curious about the opening. This, yeah, F4. F4 is like the main move. Oh, no one takes. I thought this was risky to go for. Maybe it's okay here though. 97. White wins a rook. For some reason I thought there was like good counterplay. Okay, well that's the tournament. Congratulations, Einstein. The game didn't actually count for me in the tournament. I finished in 20th place. It's cut off a little bit. So I think I'll wrap things up here.